Hello, this is Old Man River. Today I'm on my way to Five Forks Battlefield in Petersburg. This battlefield is called the Waterloo of the Confederacy. Five Forks was the junction of railroads and supply stuff to coming to Petersburg for the Richmond area. When it was taken, it broke the back of the Lee's army, and he had to leave Richmond. So, guess who the commanding general in charge of Five Forks was? It was General George Pickett, the same George Pickett of Pickett's charge at Gettysburg. After this battle, he was relieved of command. Now, Pickett has a headstone and was buried at the Hollywood Cemetery there in Richmond. I've been to it. Now then, this will be basically a driving tour, because I'm sure at this time, whoops, we missed one. Okay, let me back up. Back up. Okay, now then, let's go see what these signs say. Whoa, I turned that one a little sharp. Okay, let me get out with the camera and let's see what's going on. Okay. Let me, Okay. My command had to lament the loss of some of its bravest and best, General George Griffin. As Union General Romney Ayres finished aligning his men at 4:15 p.m. on April 1st, 1865, near the Gravelly Run Methodist Episcopal Church, the order was given for a division to attack. Generals Philip Sheridan, Governor Warren, Colonel Horace Porter of General Grant's staff rode at the front of the line. Union skirmishers drove in the Confederate outpost. Ayres was told by staff officers there were indications of enemy to the left. Eyes averted, his reserve brigade commander, Brigadier General Frederick Worthip, be ready to bring his brigade forward. Confederate General Matthew Robson's brigade began to fire on Ayres' division after they crossed White Oak Road. Later, Warren recalled that Ransom's brigade was in a thick belt of woods which disrupted their main and reduced initial Union casualties. Ayres realized situations and changed his front to the left to face the return of the Southerners' line. The movement opened a space in the line which Ayres filled with Winthrop's brigade. Ayres' men faltered briefly when they became exposed to closer, more accurate firing from Ransom's brigade. Sheridan rode along the battle line, shouting encouragement. Sheridan, Ayres, and his officers managed to quickly get the troops under control and ordered them forward again. Ayres' men would take the position, key to the entire Confederate line. Over 1,000 prisoners and 8 battle flags, but among the Union casualties were General Worthip, who was mortally wounded. Okay, here's General Worthip, I think. Born on August 3rd, 1839 in New York City, the 25-year-old Worthip would be taken back to Gravelly Run Church, which was now transformed into a field hospital. It was there he succumbed to his wounds. His body was transported back to New York for burial at Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn, Kings County, New York. From his April 13th obituary in the New York Times, from private to the ranks of general commanding brigade, his record has been stainless, participating in all the major battles fought in the East. His conduct in each was worthy of the man who, in the heat of battle, would die as he died as he did in an act of quiet heroism and notable self-sacrifice. He was a splendid soldier, skillful, gallant, cool, and accomplished. But those who knew him simply as a soldier were ignorant of the things that most endeared him to a multitude of friends. How many served with him in the Army of the Potomac, or who met him in the brief intervals of recreation, will mournfully remember his kind, gentle manner, his generous love of pleasure, his frank heartening hearing, and gentle courtesy to active word. Long after the victory with which his name is connected shall have become a tradition in the land. And there is a picture of him. Okay, let's walk over to the next side. Attack on the Angle. To learn more about the Battle of Five Forks, visit the exhibit center at Five Forks intersection. When we moved towards Five Forks, we were not expecting any attacks that afternoon, so far as I know. Our throwing up work and taking position were simply matters of military precaution. You are standing on the left, the east flank of the Confederate line at Five Forks. Here the earthworks turned abruptly northward, forming an angle. Few of the 1,000 North Carolinians gathered behind these trenches on the afternoon of April 1st expected an attack. Neither did their commander, Major General George E. Pickett, who had retired to the rear for a lunch of shad. At 4:15, Major General Gouverneur K. Warren's Union 5th Corps swarmed across what were open fields to your right, while the two Federal divisions moved too far north and missed the Confederate lines altogether. One division of 3,100 men struck the Confederates here. Brigadier General Matthews Ransom's North Carolina Brigade resisted fiercely, but the Federals rolled forward and vaulted the works. The Confederate line collapsed. The Union success at the Angle initiated the destruction of Pickett's division, a disaster for Lee's Army of Northern Virginia. Okay, there's a picture of the attack. And this is Five Forks, Battlefield number 2. The next thing we come to at the corner of White Oak Road and Courthouse Road, we were on White Oak Road, is cannon and a sign that I had to come over and read. Hold Five Forks at all hazards, General Robert E. Lee. Confederate General George Pickett's infantry and General Fitzhugh Lee's cavalry were ordered to protect their last remaining supply line, the South Side Railroad, coming into Petersburg. The infantry dug a line of entrenchments along White Oak Road through this intersection of muddy roads to help in the defense. A numerically superior force of Union infantry and cavalry under the command of General Philip Sheridan approached from the south and focused their attack on control of Five Forks road network. In the last few remaining hours of daylight on April 1st, 1865, Federal troops were able to envelop both ends of the southern line. Faced with being completely surrounded, the Confederates were forced to retreat. Several thousand of the infantry were captured as others fled unceremoniously from the battlefield, leaving behind the dream of protecting the railroad in Petersburg. Sketches done shortly after the battle by Alfred Watt of the destroyed Confederate artillery and the intersection. Death of Pegram. The late afternoon, April 1st, 1865, Confederate infantry waited behind a rude, muddy earthworks lining White Oak Road. Young Colonel William R. Pegram attended to his artillery. 3 guns on this field, 3 others further to the west to your right. Then came the Federals. Sheridan's dismounted cavalry attacked frontally. Later, Warren's infantry swept down from the east. After fierce fighting, the Confederate position collapsed around the intersection. And the Malay fell Colonel Pegram, mortally wounded in the side. Just 23 years old, Pegram had survived all of the Army of Northern Virginia's major battles. He died only 5 miles from his ancestral home, just 9 days short of the war's end. Colonel William R.J. Pegram, the boy colonel, who one man described as the most splendid soldier in all the world. Another considered him one of the few men, I believe, who was supremely happy in battle. Pilgrim fell somewhere near this spot. He died the next day at Ford's Depot, 10 miles to the northwest. There's Pilgrim. Across the street from where Colonel Pilgrim died, there's a monument here for the Battle of Five Forks. I'm not going to read it to you. I just took a picture. I'll put it up there. Thank you. It's January 31st, 2020. As you can tell from the blockade, the visitor center is closed for the winter. You can see the parking lot over there, and the visitor center is right there, I believe, with all those signs down there. Sorry I can't take you down there today, but I will enjoy it.